You love your car, right? But have you ever stopped to think about the people who build them? The backbone of the auto industry is its workforce. Now, imagine that backbone starts to crumble. That's exactly what's happening at Stellantis, where recent events threaten to trigger a domino effect throughout the entire industry. We're not just talking about hundreds of livelihoods destroyed. This could have severe consequences for you, the consumer. So, what's the story behind Stellantis' chaos? In this video, we will expose the truth behind Stellantis' created chaos in the industry and show why this matters to every car owner. So stick around until the end of the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel first. Stellantis is a massive automotive company formed in 2021 by merging two giants, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, FCA, and the Peugeot Society Group, PSA. This merger created the world's fourth biggest automaker by sales. While Stellantis is a young company, its foundation built upon established giants. It's clear they're creating chaos in the automotive landscape. They thought merging would make them the strongest, but recent events have shown this is untrue. Let's get into some major ones of them one by one. In January 2024, Stellantis NV threw a curveball into the auto industry game, announcing the permanent separation of 539 supplemental employees across its U.S. manufacturing circuit. These workers, categorized as temporary workers at General Motors Co. and Ford Motor Co., got the news and the separation was instant. However, it's crucial to note that Stellantis emphasized that these people would have no supplemental employment benefits. The decision, part of the company's routine business analysis, aimed to streamline efficiency and productivity. It aligned with Stellantis' ambitious Dare Forward 2030 strategic plan, geared towards improving market competitiveness. However, not every plant was hit. Trenton Engine, Dundee Engine, and Toledo Machining in Ohio dodged this bullet. This move followed Stellantis' various strategic decisions, cutting costs and transforming into a mobility tech company. As they geared up for the electric vehicle era, a costly transition became evident, especially compared to traditional internal combustion engine production. The recent hefty contract signed with the United Auto Workers added more weight to the transformation challenge. Skipping the February edition of the Chicago Auto Show and opting out of the Super Bowl ad lineup this year, Stellantis maneuvered its media funds smartly for maximum impact. In the context of a 1% dip in U.S. sales last year, while the rest of the industry saw growth, Stellantis recalibrated its strategies. UAW President Shawn Fain didn't mince words, expressing dissatisfaction with Stellantis' approach. He emphasized the union's efforts in negotiating nearly 3,000 temporary workers into permanent roles, significantly improving the lives of thousands of families. However, Fain expressed frustration, stating that Stellantis could secure a brighter future for these workers instead of resorting to layoffs. These 539 separations added to the announcement of 2,453 temporary layoffs at the Mack assembly plant in Detroit and 1,225 at the Toledo assembly plant in Ohio. Both plants played a significant role in producing Jeep vehicles, a critical segment for Stellantis. The layoffs were effective since February 5th. The UAW had already anticipated that a considerable chunk of these layoffs would impact supplemental workers, who, pre-negotiations, constituted around 12% of Stellantis' 43,000 U.S. hourly workforce, the largest among the Detroit Three. The new contract, ratified in November, brought significant gains for these workers, including a 9-month transition to full-time employment, starting pay at $21 per hour, and access to profit sharing and additional benefits. Stellantis NV recently had to deal with a fiery protest from a group of temporary supplemental workers who had been fired from the company. The protest happened in front of the Detroit offices of the United Auto Workers Solidarity House. It showed workers' anger because they had been promised full-time jobs under the historic contract signed by the UAW president Shawn Fain. These fired extra workers, often called SEs, got together for a loud march to demand that they be hired again. Many people from Stellantis War & Truck, Detroit Assembly Jefferson, GM's Flint Assembly Plant, and others joined the protest. Cars honked as they marched in front of the Solidarity House to show their support, making the mood lively. Protesters' signs made their problems clear. TPTs matter, sellout contract, and no representation, no work were just a few of the strong phrases on the signs. People were chanting, "The UAW lied to us, Stellantis fired us. SEs and full-timers unite, we're all in the same fight." And, Fane, you can't hide, we're here to tell the world that you lied. The protest was backed by the Rank and File Committee to Fight Job Cuts, a new group that wants to bring together workers from different businesses and countries to fight the global attack on jobs. With a stand separate from union bureaucracies that support corporate attacks, this group wants to get workers together to make a stand. Jerry White, who is running for vice president of the Socialist Equality Party, joined the protest to show his support. He read a message from himself and SEB presidential candidate Joseph Kishore. The angry workers didn't hold back when they said they didn't like how the UAW leadership handled the deal. Ashley Wilmoth, a spokeswoman for the group and a recently fired Stellantis War & Truck worker, spoke for everyone upset. In a planned speech, she told the truth about the 2024 sellout contract. These workers were told this deal would change everything, giving them job security and better lives. But the harsh truth came out when thousands of people were fired or laid off, leaving them unsure of their futures. Wilmoth mentioned that more job cuts were likely as the auto industry switched to electric cars. The fact that the UAW couldn't get its members a shorter work week with the same pay made people worried that more layoffs were coming. She said that the UAW leaders were not talking in good faith and stressed that everyone needed to work together to fight corruption. Wilmoth highlighted the global nature of the conflict throughout the demonstration. Stellantis was cutting jobs in France, Italy, and the United States. Companies outside of the big three automakers also felt the effects, with UPS and others laying off thousands of workers. The message was clear. There was a worldwide struggle against terminations motivated by profit, and the only way to win was to stand together. John, another laid-off worker, voiced similar sentiments following his firing. He was angry about not being represented and wanted to fight back. He highlighted the exploitation of laborers to pass contracts and construct trucks since they were fired once their usefulness had been exhausted. Monique, another terminated SE, recounted how to get full-time jobs. People had promised to stay late and work extra. They filed the necessary papers to transfer to full-time roles, but disappeared within 24 hours. The employees' disappointment was evident as they recalled the unfulfilled promises and the sudden termination of their contributions. The employees' complaints were exasperated by the fact that the UAW had promised to pay supplemental employees a portion of their profits, but had failed to do so. Protesters weren't merely wanting payback, they were fighting back against workers' exposure to deceit and lies due to decisions driven by profit. Stellantis has also just announced 3 recalls affecting more than 350,000 cars across the US. These recalls cover a range of model years and address distinct safety concerns. From 2021 to 2023, 338,238 Jeep Grand Cherokees were part of the largest recall, which safety officials dubbed Recall 24V-132. Problems may arise if a steering knuckle separates, causing the wheel to fall off of the vehicle. Jeep believes that a pinch bolt that connects the top control arm to the steering knuckle may have been damaged during manufacture and is responsible for this issue. All Grand Cherokees, including the L version, are being recalled by Jeep to have the pinch bolts replaced at no cost, even though the company only expects 1% of impacted vehicles to show this problem. The steering knuckle could be causing any abnormal noise that owners should be on the lookout for when driving over bumps. Another recall addresses an issue with the auto high beam headlight controller, affecting 9,433 Jeep Grand Cherokees from the 2023 and 2024 model years. The car might not turn on the highlights when the driver tells it to if the switch is in the auto position. Jeep will update the software in the impacted vehicles to fix this issue. The third recall covers Ram ProMaster models manufactured between 2022 and 2023. It affects about 1% of the 27,744 recalled vehicles. There is some worry over the proper functioning of a seatbelt switch sense magnet. Because of this problem, the car may mistakenly think the driver isn't fastened in their seatbelt when in fact they are. Vehicle identification number owners can get further information by visiting nhtsa.gov or contacting their local dealer. All in all, this internal struggle at Stellantis could be a harbinger of what's to come in the broader automotive landscape. Other manufacturers face similar challenges in balancing the present with the electric future. One thing's for sure, the coming years will be crucial for Stellantis. Their success or failure in navigating this electric tightrope will determine their fate and potentially set the course for the entire automotive industry. What are your thoughts on all of this chaos? Do let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video!